So let's start with you telling us your name.
My name's Rod Davis.
Quality Glover. Yamir Green.
My name is Quajay Tajmir Lowry, but I prefer to be called King.
All right, and what school do you go to?
I attend School Without Walls.
School that was. School that was.
I go to School Without Walls, and it's in Rochester.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about your family?
Live with my mom. My 3 sisters that did live with me, they don't live with me no more because, they older now, so they got their own place. Dad's side, got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
I got 1 brother and 1 sister. I don't live with my dad. I live with my mom.
I live with my mom and my brother. I have a sister, but I don't live with my sister. She lives with my grandmother. And my father used to live with me, but he moved out for some reason. And that's my immediate family. I have a grandfather. I don't live with him, but he's in my life.
Can you tell us about your education history?
For elementary, I attended school number 42 at Black Reynolds. Middle school, Leadership Academy. Now, 9th grade, I attend School Without Walls.
Elementary school, all my life was 5 school ever since I was in kindergarten. I went to John Williams School, number 5.
I went to 5 school. I never went to pre-K. In 5 school, I was there since kindergarten to 8th grade. And from there, I went to School Without Walls.
Okay, so who out of all your teachers was your favorite teacher and why?
I had to say my favorite teacher was Miss Little. She was very fun. I enjoyed the stuff we was learning.
Mrs. Rivers. Like, at the end of the month, we get to watch a movie and stuff. At 5 school, my favorite teacher, Mr. Minnesota. There's a couple teachers, but he one of the couple teachers that actually cared about us. Me and my friends that was in his class, he actually cared about us. Instead of other teachers that just yelled at us. It really made me mad. But them teachers, he taught to us whenever we did something wrong, whatever. And always told us that he was disappointed and all that. So, that's let us know that he cared.
One of my favorite teachers' name is Mr. Mazzotta. And the other ones are Ms. Duryea and Mr. Gangler. Okay, Ms. Duryea is my favorite teacher because she let kids express themselves in ways that other teachers didn't. Like listening to hip-hop music in school, some teachers didn't allow that. And she used to always celebrate our birthdays and everything. She just was she was awesome and unique. And Mr. Mazzotta was my favorite teacher because he actually cared about me. He's awesome and he was hilarious at that. He used to always tell us stories. And I never failed one of his classes. And Mr. Gangler was my other teacher because he always complimented me and he was super fun. And he used to always have this thing called Reward Week. Well, no, it's something. It has something to do with that, but he gives out reward tickets if you get an answer right or a question right or something. And then you get to change your reward tickets for snacks at the end of the week, every Friday. And Mr. Mazzotta had end of the month grub, where every end of the month we had a little party. And we grubbed up some food and watched a movie.
How did you get involved with GIS Scholars?
For my school, we gotta have community service, and my friends told me about GIS, and I decided to join.
Well, Mr. Thomas showed me about it, and that's what I told all my friends.
Our school got to do 75 hours of community service, and Quajay had told me to come, so I just came. My homeboy told me about it, and I needed some community service, so I thought that would be something quick and easy to come to and do real fast. So I got basically waste time on trying to find community service I was doing, so he helped me get the community service.
Okay, was it quick and easy?
I ain't gonna say it was easy. I ain't gonna say it was quick, but it's something to learn.
Was it what you had expected it to be?
No, I thought it was gonna be easy.
What interested you about GIS?
Learning about my city more, getting to know about the crimes, and geocoding.
How we work with technology and geocode and all that. It's fun.
Finding out things around my neighborhood, cause I ain't know the things that I seen on my map that I was making. I ain't know that all that was around my neighborhood, cause I'll be always walking places to the store and all that, and knowing that that's all that around. It's interesting to know that all that is going on around my house. I think there is some burglaries. I think I seen some, what was it called? It started with F, larceny. Yeah. Those are the only two things I seen.
Okay. And there's a lot of those in your neighborhood that you saw?
There's a couple, yeah.
What have you learned from Nick, Malik, and Thomas, both through GIS and otherwise?
We learned how to geocode, map, and search for crime in our city.
How we could look up like all the crimes that happen around our neighborhood,
Why do you like that?
so I can know what's happening around the area that I live in.
Nick, Thomas, and Malik, they all taught me about geocoding. They taught me about geocoding on a computer, and they showed me how to make maps and how to edit my maps and create criteria for the maps. I guess I can say that. And Thomas and Nick taught me some life lessons. They told me how to control my ego, because it's giant. It's bigger than yours, that's a fact. It's bigger than yours. They taught me how to control my ego, how to listen, and how to pronunciate and talk.
What is the worst thing you have seen in Rochester?
One time I was waiting in the car with my dad, and the car, we was parked in front of, behind another car, and then somebody came from across the street. Somebody went to the store, left their car running, took the car and left.
When the dude had got killed at the Boys and Girls Club, he had died at a young age.
When I was probably like 6 or 5 or 7, and I was coming home. I used to live in the old house. I was coming home, and like I guess a cop had got shot or whatever, and then like it was mad police cars and all that, and I didn't know what was happening. And the fact that I was right there and I lived right around the incident, like the incident was on my street, it was the craziest thing.
How did that affect you seeing your neighborhood?
He started crazy.
Ain't that happened? I seen somebody get shot. It's terribly bad. It's bleeding. But I seen him get shot. He was like 3 feet away from me too.
How old were you at the time?
Let's think. I was like too old. I was like 11. I was 11. Exactly 11. He
Okay.
got shot right before my birthday.
Did that make you think about crime differently in Rochester?
Nah, I lived in a bad neighborhood at the time, so I knew it was bound to be for someone to get shot next to me.
Okay.
And I was thinking, like, dang, what did he do to make them that mad? Like, whatever he did, I hope I don't make nobody that mad.
What is the worst thing that you've experienced personally?
Losing my great grandmother. She was very loving, caring. She was like the backbone of the family.
When my granddad had died,
Okay, and why did that affect you so much?
that was my man's.
Some say that inner city kids are more inclined to commit violent acts. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel that's very biased, I think is the word. Right? I think it's very biased of it, because inner city is just their way of saying black kids. I mean, we all live in the city. There's not really many black kids in the suburbs. People mind, they think black people are just thugs and they'll never make it to college. And the only way they could make it out is through basketball or football, not through same things they're doing.
Do you think GIS could possibly be a way to make it out?
Yeah.
Do you want to stay in Rochester when you get older?
No.
No.
No, I do not want to stay in Rochester at all when I'm an adult.
No,
Why not?
I just want to explore the world and not just stay in one place.
The weather here is terrible. I want to move to Los Angeles or Miami, Florida. or to Brazil. I don't want to move to Brazil. I just want to go there. But I want to live in Los Angeles or Brazil.
Why do you think there's a lot of young people here that don't want to stay in Rochester?
Because Rochester's just extra. They just do a lot in this city. Like, they always killing somebody left and right, always robbing somebody.
Rochester is just like not very known, and you can't really do nothing in Rochester. I want to explore the world.
Because we don't got no type of activities in Rochester.
Okay.
Like, it's only like a couple of things that happen. Puerto Rican Fest, Highlight Festival, Step Jam. It's only about 3 things I know that really happen around here. I don't even leave the house.
I would add some amusement parks, make sure that it was like more girls, add some more amusement parks, make carnivals like every month, that'd be like the best things.
If you could change anything about the way you grew up, what would it be?
If I could change anything about the way I grew up, it would be, let's think. If only my dad lives with me, that'd be cool.
Would have liked to have my mom and dad together the whole way through, and showing people a better person than me, not just a clown and a basketball player. Living with my dad, seeing my mom on the weekends gave me kind of only a tough side. I got kind of a loving side from seeing my mom on the weekends. And that just impacted the way I learn and the way I live.
And if that wasn't the case, how do you think you would have been as a person today? If you did have both your parents all the time?
Probably caring for people more. Like I said before, when I see people every day on TV dying, I really just don't really care. I just, hey, whatever.
Would you like to raise your kids in Rochester?
No.
Why not?
So they won't have like the same experience that I had.
And what was those experiences?
Not having a dad. My kids gonna have a dad. And they gonna witness all the killing and stuff that's happening.
And how would you raise your kids differently?
Not growing up in Rochester. Well, maybe Rochester, but not in the city.
Okay. Are you afraid of your kids growing up in the same area that you grew up in?
Yeah.
Why?
Because everywhere you turn around, there be a thug or somebody dying, causing trouble, a drunk, addict.
Family-wise, no. Weather-wise, no. Awesomeness-wise and school-wise, yes. I want to be my kid's life.
Okay.
Well, I want to live with them and be their life.
What do you want people to remember you for down the line?
For being the best performer.
I want people to remember me as great and successful.
Schoolwork. Being a good citizen.
For being the most awesome person that no one ever had problems with. I want you to think back and be like, King, he was an awesome person. No one ever had problems with him. Like, he was just like really cool. It's sad that he's gone, but I'm proud that he's in heaven.